Hello and welcome to day 432 of our DSO journey. I'm Brian Krasenstein and I'm here with not my twin brother Ed, but with MP3. He might be taking over for Ed if he does a good job today. No, in
That's
all
right.
reality,
Take over.
in all reality, Ed has something with his son today for school. So MP3 is filling in and he has a big day today too because NameTrade, they actually launched a DAO and it's going to go public later today at the launch of DAODAO. But we're going to talk a lot about that at the end of this video. But I'll quickly get to the news and try and get through this as fast as possible so we can talk about what MP3 is doing. So DAODAO launches today, 3 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. Pacific. It's going to go live for everybody. So it's not launching it. So obviously it already launched, but it's going to be public and anybody will be able to access DAODAO without the password. The coin price of the DAO coin will start on a bonding curve at whatever price it closes at right before 3 p.m. So if it closes at like 10 cents where it's around right now, it would start the bonding curve at 10 cents. For every $10,000 invested in this $100,000 round, the price will go up 10%. So if all $100,000 sells out and the coin price starts at 10 cents, it should close, I think, around 25 cents or so at the end of the round. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting dynamics because you are going to be able to buy on the open market as well. So if the open market price is cheaper than the bonding curve price, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But Nader also addressed some issues. We had some issues with transactions getting reverted yesterday. So when people were buying DAO coins, us included, and those transactions were reverted. Nader said that failed transactions were causing nodes to fall out of sync, and it resulted in some minor reversions when blocks were minted. So I think that is corrected now, but I guess we'll see. I haven't seen an update yet, but maybe I missed it.
Yeah, I did you have a transaction fail?
I did. We bought, I think, 17,000 DAO coins or 13,000 DAO coins, and it got reverted. It didn't fail. It worked. And then like about 30 minutes later, we noticed, hey, we don't have these DAO coins anymore, and we have the DSO in our account. So it's not a big deal. We're just kind of playing around, buying a little bit. So, I mean, if it's a loss, it's a loss. But I hope it's fixed because obviously we need that fixed for the launch at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't sleep. I'm sure it was round the clock last night.
I'm sure they are too. So moving on, DSocial World, they had several updates. Large profile pictures and banner images are now live. You can now have a banner image on your profile and a large profile image that enlarges when you hover over it. So no more of those dinky little profile pictures that you can't really understand what's going on in them. You can actually hover over and they become large on DSocial World. And you can just go to your My Profile page on DSocial World, click on the person icon, and then click Edit Profile. Then just click on the picture symbol and select the pictures you want to upload, and click Update Profile, and you'll be done, and you'll have a larger profile picture. Really cool. Are you going to change your profile picture?
I'm sure Brodo will be happy about that. Am I going to change my profile picture? Of course. I'm always changing my profile picture. You guys just can't see me like John Cena. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny when I remember Alex Velez was like, bro, like, what's up with your profile picture? Like, it makes me laugh every time, and that's why I think I'm gonna keep it that way, bro. I just love it.
Good idea. Good idea. Also, Nader made an interesting post about DAODAO yesterday, and it had a lot of really good information. It kind of showed like what Nader's thinking is about DAODAO and how he used this project in relation to BitClout and DSO. He said that DAODAO differs a lot from BitClout in a perspective that really matters from a marketing standpoint. And he said that Andrew Chen's the cold start problem describes the concept of an atomic network. And he kind of goes into detail about that. He says that DAODAO needs an atomic network equal to only one big DAO taking off. Instead of what BitClout needed was basically a user base akin to Twitter in order for its atomic network to really take off. So I like that idea because I think that's right. Like when they launched BitClout, to launch a major social media platform, you need this explosive growth, and you need that explosive growth to create a chain reaction of even more explosive growth. And it's difficult. But with DAO, all they really need is they can grow slowly, so slow growth, and then one single DAO could be its own atomic network where basically this one DAO sees growth, sees more explosive growth, and really takes off. And that can lead to that growth exploding outside into the DAO platform. And that would actually equate to explosive growth in DSO. Have you read Natter's post at all, or have you read Andrew?
That last post, I was kind of checking it out. I think I need to go back and really dive into it. But I just think in general, the concept makes sense, bro. It's a bit of a domino effect as far as and you know, I know some people are on the fence of both sides of like, oh, I think it's going to impact DSO. I think it's not. I stand with you guys. I think there's no way that if DAODAO takes off, like it's not going to have some type of compounding effect on the DSO coin price as well. Even though they're not directly correlated, it just makes sense since it is the foundational chain. It's like, come on. I mean, you don't think that people aren't going to see that and be like, especially since it's an avenue for investing as well, right? But I think that a good point you guys made yesterday was about how targeting these different coin communities, in my opinion, is probably one of the best strategies they could have come up with as far as roping in these other asset classes.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Like my idea is that like if DAODAO grows, I mean, it's built on the DSO blockchain, so it should really help DSO grow. And because of that, we bought another $10,000 of DSO. I think it was 2 days ago because it's so low. I mean, the price of DSO is so low. DAODAO, I think also I think it's probably a good investment as well. Not advice at all, but I agree with Natter, and Natter said that DAODAO is in a position of having the anti-fragility of the picks and shovels play, but all the upside of a network effects play. And by that, a picks and shovels play is basically building the tools for a market or building the tools for other products, and it's less risky. It has growth, slower growth, less risk, but it's more certain. Whereas a network effects play is very risky. The chances of a network's effect play really working out, like think of like a new social media platform, are hard and slim. But he thinks that DAODAO has the anti-fragility of the picks and shovels play because it can rely on this like this kind of atomic effect that only relies on a single DAO. But at the same time, it can explode and create that network effect and spill over to DSO. At least that's the way I took that.
Yeah. And I do like how he mentioned that, you know, they decided long-term to take less controversial takes on stuff, which makes sense to me. I mean, especially given the history and things like that, especially the conditions of the market, it makes sense to just have this slow, long, steady, organic approach.
Yeah, for sure. So also moving on, OverDeso launched their DAO. It's now live. The first round's actually capped at $25,000, and it's going to last 8 days. I just want to say great work, Don Hardman, doing great things. Randir said that he was one of the earliest users of OverDeso for his DeSo analytics project. And he also just became the first contributor to the OverDeso DAO. So nice work, Randir. But yeah, I'm going to definitely check that out later today because I love what Don Hardman's doing. OverCloud, OverDeso, all great projects.
And shout out Randir, that's my guy too. He's always putting in some critical feedback. You know, we're always going back and forth in the Discord, and I just love everything that he has to say and his inputs towards stuff. He has such a fresh perspective that sometimes I don't think about.
I totally agree. Like he has such great ideas too. Disruptpreneur says that they are launching the friends and family portion of their DAO soon. And they released some information. It's going to have a 7% reserve rate, 20% DAO coin starting price with a max supply of 25 million. The starting supply though is going to be 2 million coins. So they'll seek to raise about about $400,000 in that round with that starting supply. Holders are going to enjoy a spot in their own Discord and get some alpha, so some inside information or tips. Maybe I shouldn't say inside information, but some valuable information. Also, everybody who owns a coin will be able to participate in voting. Burn mechanisms will be rewarded in DAODAO coin, so that's going to be cool. Owners of their DAO will be given utility and access in other DAO projects as well. So you're kind of going to get a foot in the door and have access to their other projects that they're going to launch. That's really awesome. And finally, Zircles, their dashboard is now live. Every holder of Zircles Creator Coin will also get a cut of every reward that Zircles makes through their blog. Great job, Tony Lewis. Great job, Dennis H. Lewis. You guys are doing a great job with this. I know Natter's a big fan. I think he's waiting for you guys to create a DAO. Whether you're going to do that or not, I don't know. I'm guessing since you're using creator coins, maybe you're not going to do that right out of the gate. But if you haven't checked Zircles out, definitely do so. Have you checked it out, MP3?
You know what, I've heard of it and I've kind of skimmed through it, but with everything going on lately, I've been super busy. So it's one of those things where actually probably today, since it is D-Day, I'm just going to dive in and just see every single thing that's going on and just do mad research.
Yeah, so Zircles is basically like a medium like node where you can post articles, long form post in the form of articles and get rewarded with
oh, you know what, I did see that.
Yeah, and I've been overwhelmed too. There's been so much going on. It's hard to follow everything, but that's a good thing because it means that the ecosystem's growing. And I said finally Zircles, but one more thing, Altumbase. They now have a DAO page showing latest trades. It shows a trade history, which is really cool. It's something that we definitely needed. So you can kind of see like how much volume sold, what's going on, how many trades have taken place over the last several hours. It's great to do kind of a technical analysis on the DAO coin. And as we see the coin open later today, it's going to be important to have that information at our fingertips.
And quickly, you know, I've always been a big supporter of Altumbase. They've kind of been, in my opinion, this MVP in the background that isn't like a loud speaker. Hey, here's, you know, give me attention. It's like they've just been making solid plays this entire time, providing value. And really, I think that's the best long-term strat as far as a project. They're kind of just in the background doing these collaborations and communication. I've been in communication with them about some few things too, and it's like just cool to see the consistency there of just, you know, bringing that value and bringing. I mean, if you really think about it, the amount of updates that they give and the amount of like different features that they've been shipping, one of the most consistent on DAO, if you think about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Nikolai's doing a great job. And they have their own DAO as well. So you can check that out. Finally, before we get to NameTrade and what you're doing with NameTrade DAO, the top hashtags yesterday were crypto, DAO, NFT, music, and Bitcoin. So all ones we've seen before, nothing too exciting, I guess. And the top earners, diamond earners over the last 24 hours, according to Altumbase, are The Social World, Krasenstein, us, thanks everybody, Natter, followed by Altumbase, well-deserved, MTK Matt, Regina Marie, Now and Then, John Jordan, Pixelangelo, Oim Longs, DAO Analytics, which is Randier's, and Randier. So like, it's nice to see Randier up there. We were just talking about him. But yeah, so let's get to NameTrade. NameTrade is one of my favorite projects because I was involved in the domain name space for probably 2 decades now. And I see the value in acquiring valuable names on the DAO blockchain, because in the future, as DAO grows, these names are going to be rare and people are going to want word names and short lettered usernames. And I think NameTrade is really setting themselves up for being quite a valuable business as long as DAO continues to grow. So tell us what you're doing with that and the DAO.
Sure. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's one of those things where early on during the platform, you know, I kind of saw the scarcity in usernames, and I knew that there would need to be some type of function to be able to trade them. I mean, straight up. Otherwise, you know, they pretty much, money goes in, doesn't come out, usernames get locked, people leave, and then they just kind of get lost in the sand of time. And you need some type of controversial admin function to get them to move around, right? So I totally agree there. And I think that, you know, being someone too that kind of has messed with the domain game stuff like that, you know, there's money to be made there. And it becomes this entirely new asset class where people can now trade this concept of like Web3 identities and like social identities and stuff like that in a way that really the world has never seen. I mean, I've done a bunch of research on just social medias in general and usernames in general. And you know, it just doesn't exist because all these Web2 platforms own the usernames. And so if you ever wanted to try to sell that, you don't technically own that. So you have to go to like black market, basically concepts of trying to like trade these things, and then people get jacked or like whatever happens. You know, it's basically the wild, wild west with that. So really the point of the project is to provide a solution to that problem, right? Of like needing to be able to pass this around and overall ownership, right? So, you know, basically so far, the project has just been bootstrapped by me and like one of my buddies from church who is a full stack engineer, my homie Toma. And we've basically built it out pretty much as far as we could from this standpoint. Now the point of launching it as a DAO is to make it bigger than myself. Like, I think, you know, up till now, I've kind of been seen as like this, in a funny way, like the username, like Godfather or something, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to call myself that, but I'm just saying like people kind of, I'm always getting that context thrown on me where it's like, oh, he's the username guy, you know? And it's like,
I thought you were the Godfather.
You know what? Have you seen the new Kitty video, bro? It's so funny. Where there's like a video of you guys being like, I think MP3 is controlling me. It's so funny. It's so funny, bro.
Kitty 4D, you mean, right?
Bro, yeah, bro, her videos are fire. I finally made it into one, so I'm gonna call my mom, tell her I made it. But no, like, okay, so the reason I want to do the DAO, first of all, is that it was always my vision in my heart for the project to become something bigger than myself. And I don't want to be like this username overlord that's like kind of overseeing this thing for life. Even though this project is my passion and it's something I really care about, I've always wanted to bring in the community at large, not only into just the decision making, but into the involvement as far as the work and stuff like that. So, you know, there's all kinds of concepts with the DAO itself. We could talk for hours about it. But one of my favorite things that I'm looking forward to with the DAO itself is going to be the ability for people to submit proposals and essentially try to carry out needed work that they see with it. So like, let's say right now, one of our main focuses that we're working on is auctions, right? And like bidding. We think that that's something that's really going to help increase flow with the usernames trading and just provide an overall fair market, right? Because if someone has a name you want and they just list it for $1 million DSO, there's nothing really you can do beside messaging them and being like, hey, I think that's too high. So we want to offer this ability to, one, kind of have live timed auctions, things like that. And two, have bidding where people can kind of like negotiate, right? Like I think negotiations are a huge part of any money native features, right? On any platform. There needs to be that spread in order to find a fair market value, as well as providing some, you know, assessment tools and things like that, and sales history. So let's say like you, right? Like you're a developer or you're someone who has an idea for a feature. You as a coin holder of the DAO will be able to, really anybody can who holds the coin can submit a proposal for a feature they think is needed. And not only that, but if the proposal gets approved, anybody will be able to apply to carry out the work for that and get compensated by the DAO treasury. Oh, nice. And that's something that, that's something that I've seen working in practice with like Ethereum name service and things like that, which is also a DAO. So we're kind of basing the concept off that. That's probably something that's going to start kicking in after this first round of funding. This first round of funding, which is the friends and family funding, is really just more so the seed round, just so that we can get some funding. And the purpose of that funding is to support and grow the project and ensure that that we are able to build out some of these more infrastructural features. So really that's the concept, is to get people involved, build that community, and make it bigger than just me, right? Like I don't want to just be this person that's just running everything, right? Like I want to step away and give some control to everybody. Mainly because I think that's in the theme and the spirit of what decentralized social is and what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. So what are some of the, I guess, the key elements of the DAO? Like how many coins are you going to have? What's the first round going to be like? What will DAO coin holders get any sort of equity or future profits, or is this mostly just for governance?
Sure. So I think all the above. I think what's going to be happening is that, I really want to either give some type of equity or ownership, or the thing that I'm thinking will work best is kind of sticking with the theme of what DAODAO has done. And also you see with like supernovas and overcloud a little bit, where I really like the concept of like getting paid back as a holder, right? Whether that be in the form of like dividends or just payments over time, tokens being allocated to holders. And I think what we'll do is our main purpose of raising capital through like funding is going to be transaction fees, like trading fees, right? And currently it's set at like 10%. And also we have like the founder's fee of 10% on the DAO itself. And I think what we'll end up doing is allocating a certain percentage to coin holders back to them so that they're kind of getting a kickback for holding. And also to incentivize that long-term holding, right? So it doesn't just become like a pump and dump type deal and creates some of that long-term stability. So like you said, right now, I kind of wanted to set the threshold kind of low for the first round of funding, just at $10,000, because to be honest, I think that that would be enough to fund the features in which we're trying to build out and kind of get that treasury started. I see like a lot of projects, higher, lower, stuff like that. I think that like the fair value, if you were going to like assess the value of NameTrade, I would say, to be honest, like given everything and given the circumstances of the market and like future speculation, I'd say it's at least $1 million project. And I think, after talking with people like Doodles and stuff like that, I think the best way to go about it is to kind of like half that, right? And to kind of bring that to market. And the main point of doing this is to make it appeasing to not only just holders, but make it appetizing too, to people who want to invest. So
Yeah.
right now we're doing the 10,000 and it starts at like 3 cents a coin. If you do the math on that, that's about 333,333 coins, just right off the bat there, not counting the incremental raise. And I saw you guys mention that a little bit. The reason that I went with the 0.01% for every $100, it's actually the same number as the default setting for the DAOs, which is 1% for every $1,000.
Right.
But it just made sense to me to lower that threshold to that, because then it's just kicking in more incrementally faster.
Right. Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I was like, why not? I even thought about playing with a couple different things, but I just want it to be fair. I don't want it to be something that's just like getting bonded curve up the crack, like I just want it to be something that provides value, raises the coin. And the governing aspect, like you mentioned, I'm really excited for, because I think that whole proposing and voting is, in my opinion, the most important part of the DAO, right? Like making money, ownership, all those things are cool, but being involved is really what sets apart DAOs from just traditional financing
Yeah, I
companies.
think
Right?
it gets people excited, and like sure, with like stocks you have voting rights and all that, but this you actually have a say, and your say, like it with, if you own 100 shares of Apple, you don't really have a say. You have a voting right, and I mean you're dwarfed by the other owners, whoever owns the majority of the shares, pretty much. Not the majority, but the largest amount of shares dwarfs your say. So I love the DAO that gets the users excited, the owners of the DAO coin excited, and most times the users are the owners. So yeah, like I love what you're doing. I love NameTrade. I think that it's a perfect I guess company or a perfect project for a DAO, because I think everybody can kind of relate to it.
And honestly, Nader thinks it too, because I was kind of going back and forth with him about it, and he thinks that NameTrade is literally going to be the thing that allows them to get rid of the identity function. So I won't say too much there, just because I don't want any spoilers, but you probably will see some core involvement moving forward. Cool. I've been kind of in communications with some of the engineers and stuff. Just I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a thing. Like I don't ever want to like give up complete ownership of the project, or like sell it or like cash out. You know how like some people want to just like create a company and then just like sell it.
Yeah.
To me, I love this project, and it's something that gets me up in the morning. It's something that keeps me up at night. I'm so passionate about it, and I just want to get people involved. And like you said, I'm willing to admit, just because I'm the guy who started this doesn't mean I'm the best person to make all the decisions. And I think really for the success of NameTrade, it's important to involve the community, because we have an unlimited resource of geniuses and intellectuals who can really provide value in a way that I could stay up all night brainstorming and I wouldn't come up with some of the concepts and the features that these people are able to come up with. So I think the wise thing for the business itself would be to allow people to come in on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I feel like that the hive mind, like all these minds working together is so much better than just a single mind. Not that you're not a genius, MP3, but all those minds put together are greater than a single mind. And you get fresh ideas from people of different perspectives and different areas of expertise. And when you combine all those, I feel you get a more I guess, resolute and more cohesive plan, and you can all vote on that. And that's what's just so great about DAOs. That's why DAOs are the future in my mind.
Yeah, and I think we've yet to see like the viral moment for DAOs, right? Like I think the concept has kind of been played around with, but I do think that it's one of those things that is going to be the next big thing, because it really, the world itself, not even just our space, really hasn't seen the full potential for that. And the potential is crazy. As far as what can really happen with that. Like I always joke around, like even just crypto in general has just been messed with. Like so far all we have is like, I always joke with people like rug pulls and like monkey pics cartoons. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine like 10 years, 20 years from now when like some of this stuff really kicks in and we're able to look back and be like, wow, like the concept was there, but it just took a little bit of building out and a little bit of working. And I think that's,
that's how it always happens too. And like I think a good example, like look at the NFT space. Like right now it's mostly art, but that's not like, go out like 2, 3, 4 years, and I think it's, people are gonna be like, oh, art is just a very tiny portion of this NFT space. The technology itself was well beyond art. Not that I don't love the art, but I think that people are underestimating the long-term implications of many of these spaces, DAOs, NFTs, just crypto in general. So we're almost out of time. I'm on the free version of Zoom since Ed has the upgraded version, but I just want to get your final thoughts on the launch of DAODAO today. What do you think is going to happen price-wise? Do you have any guesses or any ideas of what's going to happen? Will that bonding curve, will they sell out this first round along the bonding curve? Will people begin selling in the open market and drive the price down below the bonding curve? What do you think is going to happen?
Sheesh, isn't that the billion?
No pressure.
Isn't that the $1 billion question though? Because there's money to be made in that answer. I think that personally, look, man, I'll say this: I don't think it's a scam anymore. Remember when the first launch, and that first, like literally the first comment of anybody was me saying this is a scam, and then you guys immediately came in with, I don't think it is a scam. So I no longer think it's a scam, but I definitely think that we're going to see a little bit of volatility. I think we're going to see some craziness with today's launch. If I had to guess, I think that we're going to have a lot of excitement come in, and I think this week is going to be an interesting week to kind of see. I don't think it'll necessarily judge the overall standings of it in long term. It may or may not. But just to kind of touch on what you said, I do think that the secondary market is going to come into huge play here, because you're right. If it drops below what it's being offered as, that secondary is going to start kicking in. And there's another thing to consider, if I'm not understanding it right, where there's going to be that 10% commission for the founders from the buying on the DAO, but on that secondary, there's no commission. So it's like, I think there's going to be this fine line between like, okay, what's going to make more sense for people's pocket as well, right? Like, and I think if people are trying to dump, people are going to buy it. And I think that, people are just going to come in, eat that up. Other people are going to come raise it. So
yeah,
I guess I think we're going to see some volatility. I think it's going to go up and down, up and down. I don't know if it's going to be a straight moonshot or what.
It's really hard to say, because really like one buyer could come in, buy $100,000 worth, and that rounds up, or it could just happen $1,000 at a time. There could be back and forth between the secondary and the round. So it's really anybody's guess. I think I'm just going to have fun watching it. I doubt I'm going to be buying or selling during any of this. Maybe Ed will. So if you see our account doing it, don't say I said I wasn't. But
well, they're all your tokens anyway, though, right?
Ed's going to sell everything. Ed's going to be mad that MP3 is taking over and sell everything.
Yeah, I'm also moving in on those tokens too. Let him know. You got to set him up with one of those like Weeble paper trading accounts so that he can still.
There you go.
He's going to come back and he's going to be like, yeah, we're never having him back on the show.
You're the long beard, longer haired Ed, I think, and
Yeah,
probably slightly younger too.
maybe we're getting, well, maybe not, but I'm getting there buff wise a little bit. You know, I tried to wear the tight shirt like you guys. I got my moon shirt on today in spirit of D-Day. So
Ed's gonna be so sick to his stomach from losing his position that he might lose a lot of weight. So you might be able to catch up.
tell him I'm still taking everybody up on that pull-up challenge I've been training.
You got it.
I didn't forget.
He's waiting. He's waiting. But yeah, good luck. Good luck with NameTrade. I'm a huge fan. And we're gonna watch together as we see what DAODAO does later today. Remember, 3 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for joining us again, MP3, and I'm sure we're gonna have you on again soon.
Yeah, no worries, Brian. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me on.